going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 252. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. His name is Ian Michaud, and we call him... sitting here on a Sunday, beautiful, victorious Austin, Texas, coming off a 3-1 win at the Q last night over the San Jose Earthquakes. How you feeling, my friend?
A little tired, but feeling fantastic. What a way to get the job done last night versus this San Jose team. We knew this matchup has always been wild. This team with San Jose is crazy. And look, I feel like I gave them a little too much credit for who they are. After watching them last night, they don't have a championship DNA over there. When your best player is a crash out from the last time we saw him crying, kicking garbage cans and screaming at the TV camera about his leg, and your second best player is the biggest dork in the league in Chicho Arango. And I'm not going to take away from the skill that dude has, but he's the biggest dweeb in the league. I don't know if that's going to get me a DM here eventually. I don't know if he's also searching his name in podcast episodes.
Do you have a data center?
This guy is just he is just so weird.
He's so sensitive.
It's just weird, man. So all that
you got to give him credit. Espinoza didn't play. They would have looked better with him out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you when we were sitting there, I was like, I'll tell you what, if I had done all of that, that game versus Austin, I sure as shit wouldn't have gotten a yellow card and been on suspension to miss this game.
And you make sure you're playing yesterday.
You did it on purpose.
Didn't want the smoke?
Didn't want it. Didn't want to bring it.
There you go. Officially saying that Christian Espinoza was ducking the game last night.
Play the goddamn music so I don't get sued. Play it.
Rumors, whispers, made up trades, consequences we never weighed. Logic's thin, the mic is hot. Let's pretend this means a lot. Taking shots from way downtown, hoping no one writes it down. Hot takes flying without hesitation. It's time for some reckless speculation.
There we go. Absolved.
Possibly the earliest we've ever had to invoke the speculation drought there. We will go through last night's match, last business day at the end as well. Some news to get through here at the top, and the return of a long-lost segment here at the end of today's episode. Before we get into episode 252 of the North End Podcast, I want to remind you all listening or watching on the YouTube channel that you can support us financially by downloading the audio versions of our episodes wherever you get your podcast. Toggle on auto downloads on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get those pods. That will support the show going forward. You won't have to think about it again. You can go the extra mile, rate and review the show wherever you get your podcast. And if you are watching on the YouTube channel, hitting that subscribe button also helps us grow the podcast. You can hit the notification bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. And of course, here on episode 252, hit the thumbs up, like the video, help us battle the YouTube algorithm overlords, atone for your sins, wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. I don't know how long it's been since we had a home win. Multiple months for sure. And so, it has become a little bit of a theme here when we come back from the queue the next morning, the next afternoon, we hop on the pod here and we say, well, that night was great except for the result. And so, the night being great outside of the result maintained here, dude. Just starting off, being able to have the lovely Annabelle along with us and Guillermo and Ashley tagging along, what was fun. So shout out to Joe Jack for the extra ticket there. And we also got to see our buddy Logan Okwah, who got Long's tickets and then came by himself and met up with us at halftime and was able to watch the second half with us. And I don't know, man, I always feel good when I have somebody next to me who knows what the fuck they're talking about and can clear up any of my bullshit live while we're watching instead of having to be corrected later. So it was great to see Logan.
Yeah, I enjoyed the conversations that we had because you're spot on. Getting some more different perspective and seeing some different things that I wouldn't have seen before. And then just the same old shit talk. So it was great.
Yeah. And shout out Allie and Brarley for the beer. Shout out to Greg for the beers. Also saw it was double Greg halftime, so both Greg.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys. Jesse for the beers, as always. Great to see Jesse, the man, and got to see Richie after the game, which I think we can get a little plug in here. Otra por favor, if you are not familiar with Richie's work over there. He was gracious enough to have us on this last week, and I think it will not be a 4-hour podcast, but we talked and had some spirits for about 4 hours there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when it releases this week. Got to see Richie after the game yesterday. So we will certainly amplify that podcast episode through our channels as well. If you want to hear some of us running our mouths, not necessarily all about Austin FC. There is a good amount of Austin FC talk in there, though.
Yeah, I mean, big shout out, Richie, man. That was such a fun night. It was just like shooting the shit with an old friend you hadn't seen in a while, and just like, but we're new friends, so it was great. Yeah, that was a blast, man. Again, I am forgetting a name. I believe it was Ryan. I'm going with Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan, good to meet you. I hope your name was Ryan. I'm 1 for 1 on these right now, so I'm feeling hot.
Yeah. You got your recent form is trending upward, so we're hoping to keep that going here with the names. All right, let's move on here, E, because we have a litany of international call-ups, right? We talked about the two on Wednesday's episode, and now Mirtu Azuni is called up. So like the Sporting KC match next Sunday looks very tough, way tougher than it should on paper because of these guys we are going to be missing. My question here, and I think we can also loop in, like, Mirtu Azuni came into last night's game with a surprise questionable tag on the injury report with a quad injury, played through that, but now going off for 2 matches here with his native Albania. And looking at their schedule, the first game for Albania in this window is on Thursday, September 4th, but that is a friendly against Gibraltar. I would really like to not see Mirtu Azuni play in that game. Like, if he is actually nursing any sort of injury, and this game does not matter, if it's a friendly, like, for club and country, please do not play Mirtu Azuni in that game, Albanian coaching staff, because then they do, on next Tuesday, the 9th, have a World Cup qualifier against Latvia. And if Mirtu can go 60 last night, I'm sure by next Tuesday he would be fine. But I found that a little bit interesting that they have that friendly in the middle of all their World Cup qualifiers there.
That is odd, and I definitely thought that he was going to have to be subbed out of last night's game in that first 10 minutes. I thought he was done, and I was like, oh, God, please. But way to battle through that, and yes, I'm right there with you. Let's get him some rest, and then when we have a real competition, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Let's hope. We also got Julio Cascante called up to the Costa Rican national team. So Los Ticos beginning their World Cup qualifying this week. They've got Nicaragua on Friday the 5th and Haiti on Tuesday the 9th. I was a little bit surprised by this because of the fact that Julio hasn't played a ton this season as a whole, and especially lately. I want to say, I feel like he's played 1 match in the last 2.5 months. But again, congrats to Julio. And if this is something where he, again, can go out and get some run out with his national team, help them towards qualifying for the World Cup next summer, and get some minutes, just because there is going to be a point down the stretch of this season or in potential postseason matches where we're going to need Julio, whether it's 5 minutes here, a half, a start, what have you. So congrats to him. And I think this is only a good thing for Cascante.
I agree. Let it get a little rust off. Like you said, you need minutes here. So huge congrats to him, man. That's awesome.
Jimmy Farkarlin also called up to the Liberian national team. I'm not sure if this is one that we talked about on Wednesday or not, but I did want to highlight that one as well, because that kind of starts the trickle down here of what we get from the young boys getting called up. Micah Burton called up to the U20 U.S. Youth National Team identity camp here. So I think identity camp, right? They may have some friendlies going on there at the U20 level, what have you. But given that Micah has been in and out of the Austin FC lineup and sometimes just missing altogether, some of these could be undisclosed injuries because we don't get second team injury reports. But for the guy who, again, has been in and out of the lineup to still be on the U20 radar, I think is a good sign, right? That can't be anything but a confidence booster to get this call up no matter what it's for.
Totally agree. It's been an interesting kind of journey here for Micah this season, but this is good news, and hopefully all goes well with him.
Irvin Torres getting called up, U.S. Youth National Team for the U19s. Now, this one said training camp for U19, so I don't know if there's difference between identity camp and training camp. But congrats to Irvin, and this is not a surprise at all to me. I think he's been very, very solid this year, and I think his ascension continues.
Yes, he's been a baller, man, and hopefully it keeps going and he keeps growing and everything, and we can see him at the first level eventually.
Yeah.
I do want to see it. I do.
Well, shit, dude, and like that's the thing is like if he wasn't called up to this camp, and we've seen these younger guys pull out of these camps before, depending on the severity of a Sabovich injury, how long Ilya Sanchez is out, like this could be an Irvin Torres appearance at Sporting KC next weekend. So we already played the drop. And this one can't really blow back on you too much, but I'm going to say there's a non-zero chance Irvin Torres pulls out of this camp and goes with the first team this Sunday.
I like it.
And then finally, man, out of the academy, Luke Chamberlain, congrats to Luke on the identity camp call up here for the U.S. Youth National Team, U17s. So Luke Chamberlain, clearly a kid that Austin FC sickos need to have on the radar. That is a name you need to know coming up here with the U17 call-up. Big congrats to Luke.
Big congrats here. Let's go, because I definitely have never heard this name before. Yeah. Now it's on my radar, and there we go.
There you go. I have heard the name, but again, not super familiar with any of the academy guys, especially at this point with like the guys who were tied to our front office and coaching staff with a Joe Arena's off at Michigan now, right? Gavin Wolf is in Houston now with Josh. So like seeing these names pop up, that's what you want to see, especially out of an academy that to this point is still a young program.
Yeah.
But hasn't given us much to this point. We are definitely not exceeding any expectations at the academy level in terms of that pathway to the first team yet. So congrats again to Luke and to all those guys.
Absolutely.
So San Jose coming to town on Saturday night. I mean, we danced around a potential delay there with some ominous clouds. There was a shelter in place before official warm-ups started. So luckily, everything did get underway as scheduled. But what threw us off on Friday, as we kind of already hinted at, is that injury report where like Ilya being out with the back issue, not a surprise. But Mirtu Izuni picking up that Q tag, I was definitely more pessimistic about his availability than not before we saw this lineup, and very glad that he was able to get out there and give it a go for a little over 60 minutes last night.
I'm not going to lie, brother. I was in the doom zone. I was this has all the makings of a terrible collapse. And just like if Mirtu wasn't going to be able to go last night, obviously nothing we can do with BV. You would have potentially seen a Diego at the 9 start. I think you would have seen a lot more minutes for CJ last night. So yeah, I was down in the dumps. The sky is falling.
Yeah,
it's also black
darkening.
At this point in time. Yes, everything was just like, and I'm just sitting there. I kind of felt reserved until we got the news that he was going to start, and I was like, okay, thank God. And then literally, it changed my entire mood because I was like, we're fucked if he doesn't play in this game.
Yeah.
So fantastic. What a great performance by him.
Yeah, we were going through different, like, okay, so what do you do if Mirtu is out? And like, none of the iterations we came up with were very inspiring. As much as we love all the guys on the team, right? It's just like, it helps to have your $12 million striker out there.
Right.
And so Mirtu, exhale, gets the start. I'll give myself a little pat on the back, maybe a little half point. Dubersarski joining the midfield there for the start last night. John Gallagher got out there as like left wing back. And we'll talk about his positioning as we go. I see the face you were making. We were both making similar faces and noises through the first 10 minutes of this one. On the other side, though, right, we had talked about, we got our San Jose expert, Thomas, answering my question about who starts for Espinoza with a beats me. And so the answer turned out to be Preston Judd, but it was kind of a 2-striker look with him and Joseph Martinez with Chicho sitting underneath them. So still a very threatening front three, especially the way Judd has looked against us this season. Like in the 2 matches, he's been pretty dangerous. Like Brandon Hines loves roughing that kid up, man, right outside the 18. So getting into this one, first minute, first possession here. Osman has it on the right side down there in the south end, and this was the second home match in a row where I guess we lose the coin toss and we're going towards the south end instead of towards the north end. I'm not sure if I like it. I guess after last night, we'll take it. Let's keep that going. Whatever we got to do, man, to keep these wins coming in. So he's got it on the right, Osman, that is. Mikkel Dessler overlapping. They're about 30 yards out from net. And Buka floats across here towards the back post, which is in the direction of Owen Wolf, but just out of his reach. But it was a nice aggressive start here because even on the goal kick, Danny pressures Ronaldo Vieira into a near disaster for San Jose, but Daniel was able to get to that loose ball before Danny could come in and finish it. But he jarred that ball loose going towards net at the top of the 18. And man, we certainly would have taken a win playing it out of the back goes wrong in our favor here. No dice, but again, man, an aggressive start and keeping the energy up that kind of always is filling the stadium before the first whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I don't think that you're going to have these plays in your notes too often here, but I thought there was a lot of nice defensive play from the midfield to dispossess guys from the Quakes team that did lead to some transition opportunities for us, some of which we did capitalize on. I can't remember if the first goal here is a direct, I think it was a bad pass by Chicho actually. Or
it's Duber.
Oh, okay. So there was a dispossession there that led to a direct goal. So I love to see that. I remember distinctly talking to Uncle Dave and he was like, are we high pressing right now? I'm like, are we pressing them a little bit? And I was like, yeah, you might be right here. And just throwing it out there. But you have to respect that front line. And I, as much as I enjoyed this start, it did not feel great for the first 10 minutes, in my opinion. Yeah, well, I was concerned with the lineup, the formation. I really was. I did not like it.
Well, and this is something that I thought was interesting again to talk to Logan about in the second half, like what his thoughts were on especially these first 10 minutes, because both of you and you were a little bit more animated in the moment in terms of I don't like this. I don't like this is not good. And we'll go through these plays here, but Austin was dropping into a back 5 when San Jose had the ball. And I imagine I listened to Coach talk about this earlier, but I forget what he said exactly outside of yes, we were pulling John back as an extra body when the Quakes had the ball. But to me, it was because of those 2 speedy wingbacks they have out there in Ricketts and DeJuan Jones and trying to get more bodies back just to try to match up in those instances. But I think through the first 10 minutes, and we have a couple notes here, but I don't think we executed it very well, but I think I agree with the idea on the scout. I don't think the guys were super comfortable right off the rip.
I don't like, for lack of a better term, neutering Biru and sliding him more centrally to play more of a third center back. I really don't like that because we know he likes to get up and he's dangerous when he's doing that stuff. And this kind of takes that element away from him, although he did still do it a couple times. Which I was just like, okay, well, I guess you can't stop him entirely from doing this. And then obviously Johnny being pushed up that left wing moved Owen more centrally, and we've seen what Owen's been able to do on that left wing, but the kid can do it anywhere. He's the best player in the fucking league. I don't even know what to say anymore. He's the best player in the Western Conference. Y'all can have your Messi. We got little Messi over here. This guy is unbelievable. So shouldn't have had any doubt in his abilities to move centrally and play a new position and still thrive in that. But it looked sloppy, particularly on that left side, that right side all night long, and it has been this way all season. Very crisp with Buka and Dessler. And the overlap plays that happen there, the tight, intricate type of passing. The left side still not at that level right now, in my opinion. But, I mean, you have the Joseph header, who's just barely offsides. If that goes in, I think this game goes way differently.
Yeah.
You have that shot by Chicho from the top of the box, which saw guys not really know where they needed to be. Johnny slides over. He's not there early enough. So I did not like the formation to start this game. And credit to the guys for making it work and making, just getting a dub out of this. But Robbie Taylor We can't.
Doghouse, dude.
What has happened here? He hasn't started one fucking game, man.
Yeah, hasn't played the last two, right?
So I was not thrilled with after the initial start here, you get that potential that turnover, almost get a goal and everything out of that. But it looked sloppy, man. And that is a dangerous team. I know, I clowned him a little bit to start this episode here, but I respect the shit out of what Chicho can do on the field.
Of course.
Because you have to. So I was nervous about it, man. And to your point, like you brought up with the wingbacks and their willingness to get forward too, I do see the vision, but I just didn't think it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking right.
More cons than pros to you on paper.
And then there was also multiple times where we saw Johnny in the middle of the field all the way up in the striker position. Mm-hmm. And we're launching long balls to him. He's the shortest dude on the team.
Yeah.
And Nenny also had to track all the way back to get there. So I don't know. It was not for me.
Yeah. If anybody can do it, it's John Gallagher. But getting to some of these plays you were kind of hinting at there in the third minute, Austin's got a throw in, west sideline in their own defensive third, and Duber-Sarski receives the throw and tries to make a pass that is, I think, pretty clearly knocked down by the arm of Ronaldo Vieira. No call. Vieira squares it to Chicho, and Chicho has a crack from 22-ish yards out. Stuver blocks it, but he spills the ball right into the path of Martinez, and Joseph follows it up. His follow-up is blocked away by Brad. And nervy moment. I think if they score that, it comes back for the handball on VAR. I think. But then Mirtu gets hit by Vieira as the ball is progressing the opposite direction and goes down on the next dead ball. And then for a good 90 seconds, he's hobbling around. And that's where you said earlier, I think all of us and probably anybody in the stadium that knew he came in with that Q tag were like, oh, we're fucked. Yeah. Dude, if he's got a serious quad injury then and is out for a month, maybe more, you can kiss it goodbye. Yeah.
Why do we have all of our 10s do this? Or number 10s, man. It's as clear. This is a classic Seba move.
To his credit, I said it last night. That's the first time that I can remember Mirtu doing that. And so I can, at this point, because it's the only time I've seen him do it, I think it was hurting. I think he just pushed through and was loose enough to keep playing. And, they bring him off a little early here last night. And he didn't look like he was too happy on the replay about being brought off. But I think he's got, he had some sort of something come up and bite him late in the week. I don't think that Q tag was gamesmanship or anything.
Yeah. I guess I'll jump to the Duber turnover here, which was also a potential handball. He was shaky to start, but he settled in. And I'm going to give him credit for that because he did definitely pass the ball to the wrong team 2 or 3 times last night. But he settled into his role, and I thought that he put in a really solid shift. So big credit to him because, again, like we said, with the Boloko situation, Duber's still a relative unknown to what we're able to get out of him. And I thought that he showed some strides last night that were very positive.
I think he also was a benefactor of John Freeman, the head official, letting them play physical last night. I thought the officiating overall was very good. There were some frustrating moments for me, but I think the consistency was there. And that's really what we're asking for out of these officials, right? If you're going to call a bad game, call it bad both ways. But I thought that was very solid last night. And again, I think Duber benefited from it a couple times because he is a physical defender back there at the 6. So, and I think a game like this is what starts to build up not only the confidence for the player, but the confidence in the player from the fan base, because I saw a lot of people giving Duber his flowers last night, and rightfully so, I think.
I'm right there with you. You also said you would probably get thrown out of this game if you were coaching it at one point.
I forget what I remember saying that. I forget what I was saying that about. I know exactly. It was when it was 18-5 in the fouls. On the rewatch, I would have got thrown out and probably seen the film and then called up John Freeman and been like, my bad, John. 5th minute here, 25 minutes into the pod. Chicho tight-roping the far sideline down there in the north end from the broadcast camera and just kind of turns on a dime, whips a great ball in that when it came off his foot, I think I said to you, great ball. And it finds the head of Joseph Martinez, who nods it past Duver. Luckily, the flag goes up. And it was closer from our angle watching it live than it was on the replay. He was definitely off. It was a good eye by the linesman right there because in real time, I thought it was a goal.
Yeah, no, I was kind of still just like watching Chicho in this moment. I hadn't seen Joseph kind of slip into the cracks here and everything. But yeah, dude, I mean, and I don't know, I can't distinctly remember if we're just like out of position here, if Johnny is not in this picture or not where Chicho plays this ball. But like, this is one of the things that I was talking about that I was like, okay, I don't like this at all. We have to change something up here, because that was a relatively easy ball for Chicho to play through. His first shot was a relatively easy shot to take. There's nobody on him.
Yeah. I think it took a little while for those guys to settle in to the new numbers you have on that back line, because we have 90% of the games this year we've been running a back four. And so this is not the first time those guys have tried to execute this, but it's the first time in a while. I think maybe since the last time we played San Jose, when we saw more of a 5-back when they were in possession. And we started shaky that game too with the Buda to Chicho goal.
Yes, I was thinking it was like, because maybe that's part of what gave me some pause with this is I distinctly remember a 5-back situation where we had Biru in that third center back role, and he was just getting whooped because he was out of position. And I can't remember. Maybe it was that San Jose game. Did we go 5-back a little bit versus Houston?
I don't think so. Maybe the Open Cup match, but that was a while ago.
I thought it was. That might be the game I'm thinking of. Whatever. I will give the team credit and the guys credit, coaching staff, for sticking to it. But yes, they did settle into it. But there was some very nervy moments here, man. And we've seen what happens when this team gets scored on first, and it ain't pretty. So that was something that was really giving me some concern, man.
Yeah, and in the 9th minute, it keeps coming. Ian Harkes here, good through ball that kind of slices perfectly right between Svatok and Dessler to put Joseph Martinez in behind, and he chops his shot just wide of the far post. And 3 minutes later in the 12th, Austin finally getting something here, which starts with this Duber-Sarski tackle, taking it off Chicho just outside Austin's final third. And that ball rolls into the path of Owen Wolf, who turns and takes off upfield. And as he crosses midfield, he's got Azuni trailing him to his left, and Osman Bukhari making a run down the right side, and Owen plays a perfectly weighted ball, hitting Osman in stride down the right side. And as he enters the 18, for what feels like maybe the first time ever in an Austin uniform, Buka shoots far post, buries it past Daniel for the early lead. I don't know if you saw his celebration on the replay, man. Celebrated with some oomph. Like, that was the same celly he did with his first ever goal in Nashville, but that last little wave of the arms was like, huh! And then Owen comes up, gives him a little kiss on the cheek. Good times at the Q, man. Good shot, Buka. And then you pointed out, and I think this is a good shout by you, that the scout on Buka when he's one on keeper there maybe play the near post, because Daniel was definitely shading towards his near side.
Yeah, I think he went too far, Daniel, is in that situation. So great on Buka to get that far post shot in there. Just the ball from Owen, man. He's the best player in the league. All right, I'm sick of it. He's the greatest player in the league.
Okay.
20. You said 20 million last night.
I did say 20 million.
25.
I stand by that.
He's incredible. So, what a ball, man. Like you said, the weight on this, absolutely perfect. And if you're trying to beat Osman Bukhari in a foot race, I hope you said some prayers or something. It ain't going to happen, bro. So, it's just not going to happen. Way to get it started. TJ has coined this the wash yourself clean dance. I thought that was pretty appropriate. He was in the South End, so
he's doing it in the South End.
Wherever you wash
yourself clean.
Yeah, wherever you wash, as long as you're washing, you're good. But now we're feeling good. Now the energy's it's up. I think the fans, obviously the casuals and the sickos alike, understood the importance of this matchup. I had several people who, I will scream in a group chat with and be like, Austin FC, who don't really partake. But seeing the matchup last night where we were sitting on the table to positioning, getting some people chiming in like, oh, this is a big matchup. Yeah, brother, it's a big game of the year. So that felt great. And again, credit to Duber-Sarski, because he's the one who initiated all of this. And he took it off their best player on the field last night.
Yep. So after the goal, I think Austin really controls the match, at least the pace. Like, they slow it down considerably because they didn't have a ton of the ball in the first half overall. But the game certainly settles over the rest of the first half hour. 33rd minute here. Quakes passing it around the back in their own half. And a pass from Daniel, the keeper, to Roberts, gets away from Roberts going to his left, so towards that west sideline. As that ball kind of just runs through his legs and trickles towards the near sideline, for some reason, Roberts like goes and tries to keep it in, and his momentum sprinting to this ball is clearly going to carry him past the ball. And not only that, but he slips on the little turf outside of the grass surface there. And so that allows Osman to just come and pick the ball up. Thank you very much. Off the touchline there and charges towards net. He draws. It's a 2-on-1 here. He's got Azuni in the middle with a defender trailing him, but Mirtu's got a step. He draws both the last defender and Daniel, and then splits the two with a pass right to Mirtu Azuni, who just rolls it home for the 2-0 lead. Mirtu, little kiss to the south end, little bow or something like that. Still a muted celebration.
Yeah.
And that was what he was saying post-game was like, I still owe you all more. So thank you very much. Here's your goal. And we keep moving. And I mean, there's a lot to talk about in this play. But for Mirtu, man, that's a huge landmark for his Austin FC career. That's his first league goal at home this year. Yeah. And the fact that September is tomorrow, we could sit here and say, well, it's taken way too long. But we all know that, man. The form he's in now, again, he's in top 3 striker in the league type of form with his counting stats right now. And so I have no complaints at this point. It's taken longer than we wanted. It's taken longer than we needed, to be honest, to exceed the goals of the season. But if he stays anywhere close to this level going forward throughout his tenure and even just this season, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Keep that quad healthy.
Yeah, going to feel great about it, man. What a weird play here. I guess just kind of encapsulates the entire season for San Jose. I don't know why you're trying to save this fucking ball. Yeah, and then you just leave it right there on the line, and then you slip, man. So your buddy Thomas probably wasn't having a great night.
He bet on Austin though, so at least he made some shekels, yeah.
And the same thing you saw with Daniel here, really shading that near post as Buka approached, which of course is the right positioning, but I think he was putting a little bit more emphasis on it. There's no way that we are the only people who have noticed that he always consistently goes near post on these keepers.
Yeah, of course.
But got a little fortunate with the ball, but as you mentioned, waiting, being patient, drawing that defender to you, making Daniel commit, and then putting the ball into a dangerous area. Sometimes it works out, and it worked out here, and now we're feeling absolutely fan-fucking-tastic, man. And to your point, yes, about Azuni, did it take longer than we expected? Did it take longer than, we would have hoped? For sure. But it's here now, because, that's another game with another goal, and it's here now, and he's been carrying us. Owen, Buka, and Azuni have really, really been carrying us on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. I'm not going to take credit from everyone, but
of course. No, and I guess my only complaint is that Buka doesn't get an assist here because Daniel touched the ball on the pass. But Osman involved in all 3 goals last night. I would say responsible for all 3 goals last night.
Yeah, and I just don't know why he's not doing that every game, man.
Yeah, that's what we pay him for, right? You know what? 104 goal contribution pace. So Bruno Wilson, before the restart, does come on for Roberts, and the trainers did come out and look at him. He looked like he was fine. So I don't know if that was, embarrassed coming off, if that was Bruce Arena got pissed and pulled him off, or if he was actually hurt, and maybe some combination of the 3. But then we get 3 minutes of stoppage here, and in the second minute of stoppage here to close out the first half, there's a through ball towards Preston Judd that gets cut out by Alexander Svatuk, and as he does and passes it back towards Bradley Scott Stuver, Brendan Heinzlake comes and just shoves Judd to the ground. No call, and there definitely should have been. That was a fucking foul. But like I said earlier, man, BHI does not take kindly to Preston Judd and his face. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate that as well. There was one time where I'm pretty sure he was just laying on the ground, just this might have been right after this play, or just my face into the ground. I was like, all right, dude.
Coming out of the half, they use another sub here. Obviously not a window at the half, but Oseni Buda comes on for Jamar Ricketts. And here in the 46, right off the restart, ball pings around for the first 30 seconds. Then Chicho comes down with it near midfield. Danny nicks it off of him, and then Pereira turns forward and plays John Gallagher in behind. And DeJuan Jones comes in with the slide and takes John Gallagher out. This is a sure red card if the flag doesn't go up, and it looks like on the replay, like I think this linesman got it right just barely. It's very close. And again, of course, this is MLS, so we do not have the perfect angle here, nor do we have the technology that very much exists to draw some lines. There is a check, and it's confirmed. And just from what I saw, I think that linesman was on point all night.
Yes, I agree.
But man, that would have just you could have been talking 4 or 5 goals, maybe more, if they lose a man here to start the second half. So just inches away from really just shutting the door on this one to start the half.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, you did your work in the first half. You did your job, and to be up 2 on this team, again, we all thought that they were going to be able to score on us, just given their nature, given the talent that they have on the offensive side of the ball. So the more the merrier that we could have potentially gotten. And I don't, and this was very close, and absolutely, I think this guy would have been shown off the field. But there was another play where, there's at least 2 plays in this game where San Jose guy, dude, like exaggerates a foul and then falls and grabs the ball. Yeah. And like one of them, I'm pretty sure, was in the box.
Yeah.
And like
that did look like it for sure.
Grabbed it with like 2 hands pretty near, So I guess I was satisfied with the refereeing as well. Even though the foul discrepancy at the end of this game does look a little, when it
was 18-5, it's like, at least that's when I'm on the sideline talking to the fourth. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a physical game, 18-5.
Yeah, no, it was a physical game, and I thought that he was letting us play, and I thought he did a good job. But
Which is crazy when we get 20 fouls called on us, and we feel like he was letting us play.
No, for real. And you look at these. We'll get into the stats later, so let's keep this thing moving.
Sure. In the 53rd minute, here's San Jose with multiple minutes of pressure after that early scare coming out of the break, and on this possession here in the 53rd, there is a foul by Mikael Dessler over on that east sideline, probably about 10 yards from the end line. So it's very close to the corner flag, but not a little bit higher up the pitch there. And San Jose, they play it low on the ground to the top of the area. Mirtu can't quite, like a little bit of a tough angle that he took there to try to cut it out. So this ball just rolls right to DeJuan Jones at the top of the 18. He has a crack. That pings off of 3 Austin FC defenders and then stops right at the foot of Daniel Muni, who's 7 yards out. He puts it home past Stuver, and it's 2-1. And feels very similar to some goals that have been scored on us of late, with like guys in the right position, they get their block, and then the rebound, the second chance falls right to the opponent. And it was like, okay, well, we are here again.
Yeah.
Right? What are we gonna? You guys we have to respond differently than we have over the last month, or else this is again you're going to crumble just like we have the last 2 times at home.
Yeah, no, this definitely felt like it was going to be a 2-2 draw after this moment in time here, because again, another very unfortunate goal to be giving up. Like we've had several of these happen throughout this little run here, and there's nothing you can do about this. There's nothing Stuver can do about this. It's just
the goal. Yes, I would complain about we had nobody near Jones at the top of the 18, and I think Mirtu individually can take a better angle to try to cut out that pass. But and I do think Coach Estevez mentioned in the post-game presser that like the set piece defense there was we were covering it more like a corner than a free kick that was elevated a little bit, and that San Jose took advantage of that. So I will second what Coach said there, that I thought they could have done better in terms of their coverage beforehand. But yes, I absolutely agree. Once the shot happens and 3 of our guys get a touch to it, we can do better to clear that out.
And to be fair to Mirtu, him tracking back consistently last night was really effective, and same with Buka on the defensive side of the ball. That's not going to get talked about with obviously their counting stats and the goals going up and everything like that, but they did really well to get back all night long. And yes, I'm with you. We could have stopped the initial action and not had this consequence here.
56th minute, right after the restart, Austin FC back on the attack with Azuni running down a ball in the northwest corner. And then he finds Osman, who's floating towards the left side of the penalty area. And Buka then receives the pass, drags it twice more towards the top of the box before slipping a pass through to a cutting Danny. Nuseni Buddha cuts it out. Danny goes down. Danny wants a pin. When you see the replay, it does look like Buddha got the ball barely before maybe a little bit of contact with Danny. But again, I think this was a solid no call on the potential pin there. And no shade to Danny for trying to sell it, because there was a little bit of contact there. So, maybe 2 inches to the right there, and maybe we are going to the spot. But again, Austin, I was glad that I felt like the response was there, even though the goal wasn't immediately. The aggression returned to Austin's attack immediately following that goal. And that's something I don't think we've seen a ton of over the last month.
Yeah, and that's something that people have been calling for. I called for it, I think, in our last matchup from the Montreal game and everything like that. I also want to say the composure. I don't think we lost our cool after they got that first goal. Yeah. I think we remained composed, and we were the better team all night long. And I think that we knew that in our hearts here. Obviously, giving up the own goal was a sweet, delicious treat for us, but we still outplayed them. I think, to start that second half, we got punched.
Yeah, for sure.
They were on the front foot, and then, to your credit and to your point, got a response from the guys that was very appropriate.
Yeah. 59th minute here as Mooch chimes in. Mooch didn't appreciate the early second half punch from the Quakes and was maybe worried about this second one here, because in the 59th minute, man, San Jose on a breakaway. Preston Judd takes a very good touch to split Biru and Heinzike, and then plays a ball into the path of Oseni Buda out on the left. Buda lays it back off for Chicho, who has a crack from right outside the area that gets deflected by Svatak and on frame, and Brad Stuver pushes this one over the bar. And you talk about goals that are almost exactly like the ones we have been conceding, where like our center backs doing their job, trying to block shots and deflecting in. Even more credit to Bradley Scott Stuver here for saving this one off the deflection. And as Stuver goes over, I think right over the last 5 seasons, goes north of 600 total saves, which is only the second time an MLS goalkeeper in the history of the league has racked up 600 saves over 5 seasons. We still have 7 games left to go, so I don't know where the number 1 mark is, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brad passes that. And that is a combination of Brad being one of the best keepers in this league, and also us not being very good overall and allowing a ton of shots at Brad. So the big shout out to him, though. I mean, it's just another milestone in his awesome Austin FC tenure.
I mean, the guy is incredible. Started out the game huge, right? That save he made off the Martinez rebound there, absolutely massive. Yeah. And this play here was his play of the night. He was called into action here. This is a deflect. These Chicho shots, man, they look like missiles. Yeah. Like they have so much pace on them, dude. And like, it looks like if you're trying to save this, it would hurt your hands, because this was a rocket. And yeah, dude, this deflection was a very, very fucking dangerous one. So shout out Brad, always on his P's and Q's, always ready.
When it felt to me on the rewatch that like once that shot got saved, that we truly settled down and was like, okay, well, like there was another punch. Stuver saved this one, right? In past games over the summer, it feels like when it's gone wrong, it's been on that shot. So a couple minutes later in the 61st, Austin is passing it around the back here. Heinzike goes back to Stuver. Chicho blitzes him. And here comes Stuvino, gives him the old dipsy do down there in the south end. And like, I know at some point, Stuver will give one of those up. Like we've seen them in the past, right? Yeah. It's been a while, so maybe we're due. But I always enjoy when everybody gets to bring out the Olays for a Brad Stuver dribble there. And again, like just continuing, like Chicho scored that opening goal in the Open Cup match. And since then, Brad Stuver has been his father, basically. Yep. Like when these two teams are on the pitch, stoning his pen in the shootout and all the saves he had on him yesterday and then making him look silly here. Sorry about it, Chicho. 2 minutes later, Austin has San Jose pinned back in this moment in the 63rd. And as they shuffle it around, Austin, that is, shuffle it around the back, ball gets to Heinzike and he sees an opening, progresses forward with the ball at his feet. Nobody steps up. So here's Brennan Heinzike dribbling guys into the 18. And as he makes his way all the way to the left side of the 6, kind of takes any sort of advantageous angle at a shot away from himself with this touch, but still does try to chop one across the face of net and it goes just wide. But man, if he was able to convert that, I imagine that would be top 3 for like center back plays on the year, especially with the ball at their feet, man. Like he was channeling his Johan Romagna.
I mean, well, at least he made it look good. Romagna, that was much more of a
Romagna
train.
was more rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Yeah. I thought he had Johnny here. I thought he could have played Johnny.
Okay.
I thought Johnny was open, but it was a nice little move. I'm glad it went all the way out of bounds too, so he had time to get back.
Yeah, but he's going for the glory there.
Yeah, no, he went for it.
After that BHI run, you get a double change for Austin in the 64th minute. Sabovic and Rubio on for Dubrsarski and Mirtu Azuni. And then I was dying this morning because I did not clock this live, but it takes literally 6 seconds for Diego Rubio to foul Ronaldo Vieira after the ball restarts. And that is only topped by Felipe Martins back in 2022 when he fouled a guy 3 seconds into the game. So Diego trying to break records last night. I think that's number 2 on the all-time Austin FC on the pitch to foul list there. 3 minutes later, yellow card to Guilherme Biru. To be honest, I'm not sure what he did or said. It might have been the latter, saying something to the official here, but picks up a yellow. And then 68th minute, LaRue and Buck in for Vieira and Judd for the Quakes. Yellow card to Chicho in the 71st for kicking John Gallagher in the shin right near the 4th official. In the 77th minute here, San Jose working it around in Austin's end, and they were Austin able to turn the Quakes over as DeJuan Jones gets the ball kind of caught up underneath his feet. Diego Rubio steps in to win it off him, and that loose ball falls to Owen Wolf, and Owen dekes around a defender and races forward across midfield with Diego Rubio trailing him to his left and Bukhari out on the right, ready to release, and Owen plays Osman. And as he does play that pass, he takes a foul from Muni. Play continues on the advantage, and Buka slows up outside the 18 and measures a cross that is intended for Rubio charging at that back left post. But that cross is played low on the ground, and I think Daniel had a chance to come out and just scoop that one up or dive to get it before it got all the way to Diego. But as the cross is coming in, Wilson slides to try to cut out the pass, and he deflects it, rolling it softly into his own net for the own goal, sending the crowd into its 3rd celebration of the night. 2-goal lead restored. Exhale a little bit, I think. Buka, little sheepish grin. I think he will take it. We will certainly take it. And it is about time we got some own goal luck in our favor, man. I don't know if we ever had a ball just roll into our net like that. We'll take it.
That was comedy watching that thing slowly roll into the net. Daniel's on the ground. Yeah.
Almost trash man gift.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we'll take it, dude. I like to have that moment where that goes in, and like you said, you can exhale and be like, okay, we're gonna get through this now. This was, like you said, this was the biggest game of the year. Yeah. And they're talented, but they're sloppy. This is not something that was completely out of the blue for this team. They are a very, very sloppy team. And that's part of the way that they play, and they score a lot of goals. They go up and down, but they're not that disciplined on the back. We knew this defensive unit was bad. I mean, they had 2 critical errors last night. This obviously unfortunate. The play in the first half, huge error. So absolutely we'll take it. I love the little sheepish grin from Book there. That was fantastic.
78th minute, the return of Nick Lima to Q2 Stadium coming in for DeJuan Jones. 80th
Shout out
minute.
Teddy.
Teddy
pointed him out. He goes, is that Nick Lima?
Nick Lima's in. Teddy was going crazy last night.
Crazy.
Waving the flag for I don't know.
Hit me in the face
felt
5 times.
Good. Keep you awake. Look, every time Teddy gets to throw confetti on the first goal this season, we've scored 3. So maybe that's a new tradition here.
There we go.
Teddy gets the confetti on the opening goal. 80th minute here. Osman pulled down 35 yards from net. And that free kick is played very quickly to Sabovic, who's wide open on the left with nobody near him. And he takes a heavy touch, man, before he can get a shot. And nothing doing ultimately on that. And I think he can do better there. We were yelling, everybody in the north end, shoot it. He takes that extra touch and he lets the Quakes defense recover. And 4 minutes later, man, he goes down holding his knee. I didn't notice this watching it live in the stadium, but on the rewatch, after that shot was blocked and it goes, I think it went out for a corner. he goes down, like grabbing, like massaging his knee a little bit. And so 4 minutes later, when he goes down, trainers come out. Ultimately, here we get a double change in the 84th with Obrian and CJ coming in for Buka and Sabovic. And coach said after the match, imaging today for Sabovic on his knee, but is not considered serious from the initial assessment. So hopefully it's like, a bone bruise, knee sprain, something like that. Because if I would have seen these, if I was watching this game on the broadcast last night and seeing more of Sabovic, the close-ups of him rubbing the knee where he's pointing, it did not look promising.
No, it did not. I mean, I can't talk too much about, the injury. Obviously, we got to get some more news here and everything. Yeah, the touch is terrible, dude. And the touches have been bad pretty much all year long. And I think you might be starting to see a bit of a shift here where Duber's going to start eating these minutes now. And I don't want to base it on, obviously, on this one matchup where you get a fortunate goal. You do win this game 3-1. I do think you deserve to win this game. But Sabo's play has not been up to the level that we've expected it to be. And if Duber, like I said, after settling in last night, I thought he was totally fine. So hopefully it's nothing serious because we do need these bodies. But having the young guys, younger guys, Duber obviously the youngest of the three here, but like Ilya broken down a little bit, and then this Sabo kind of scare. But I was with you, man. It did not look good.
87th minute, yellow card to Svatok. I think just persistent infringement here. And then 89th minute, you get Cowboy Kolmanich in for Mikael Dessler.
God.
Yeah.
Do you have that image? I don't want to take the swoon tower, their entire thing, but good Lord, big Tex Kolmanich coming in here, brother. As someone from New York who's been searching for like a cowboy hat and like a cowboy boots to like fit it and everything, it's exactly how doofy I would look if I went for this look. He went with the full belt buckle too, brother. Oh my God. Oh, it's fantastic. With the Louis bag.
Dude, he looks great.
He does. He does look great. It's a great look, man. So I'm glad you brought that up because I definitely forgot about it. But as soon as I saw that, it was a guaranteed win. Guaranteed.
Well, that's Cowboy Kolmanich with a K.
Yeah. Well,
just two. Come on.
Just two of them.
Chill. I didn't say you did.
Logan pointed something out to me that I had never heard before, where he said the ref made a signal that was like literally the next Austin player to foul someone is getting a yellow card. Yeah, doesn't even matter what the foul was.
Yeah. Where he was like waving his arms like this, and then he was counting to everybody. And I think it makes sense when it's 18 to there's 18 fouls and not a ton of yellow cards. But yeah, that was like after a couple minutes of just like foul.
Yeah.
And we were being very physical with them on the night.
We were. You had to be. I mean, you have to. That's a talented offensive unit over there. Cowboy Kolmanich.
So in stoppage time, we get 8. 90th minute. Diego here gets clattered into by Nick Lima and stays down. Like, for this not to be a yellow, I thought was like that towed the line for sure. And then I think because of how hard he got crashed into, I thought it was completely fine for him to stay to 8. I didn't think, it's Diego, so maybe his reputation is preceding him there. But Freeman does make Diego come off for the 2 minutes. And then the only note I have here in stoppage time, because the team did well to see it out, and they did have a couple half chances on the counter. But in the second minute, as Rubio gets let back on, you got to have a good laugh because this fourth official lets him back on right as he's able to step into a pass right in front of the fourth official and start a counterattack. So they let him out of jail, and he just comes in and steals again and lays it off for Obrian, and Obrian's shot gets blocked out for a throw. But I know Bruce Arena was not happy with that. And I think it's fair, man. I think you can wait 5 seconds and get the ball out of that vicinity, but I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
It's classic Diego. It could only happen to him. All right, we're back.
36% possession at the end of this one for Austin E. One of the lower numbers we have seen, not just of late, but on the season. 18 shots to 8 in favor of the visitors, and 6 shots on target to 2 for the Quakes. So look, you had the luck on your side as well as the better performance when you score 3 goals on 2 shots on target. 2 big chances for Austin, both of them converted, and Austin did have the advantage on corner kicks, 5-4. On FotMob's XG model, 1.46 expected goals for Austin, 1.67 for San Jose, and expected goals on target, 1.74 for Austin to 1.3 for San Jose. Go ahead.
That possession number actually kind of shocked me when I saw it today. It did. I did not think it was that. I knew that they had the ball more, but I didn't think it was that low. And with this team, you knew the shot volume was coming. Chicho has launched himself. He's shot over 100 times already this season. He gets them up. So you knew that stuff was coming. And this is how San Jose has lost games this year. You know what I mean? Just launching shots, critical errors on the defensive side of the ball, and they're not that good. And like I mentioned with their mentality and everything like that, like I was exaggerating to just clown on these guys a little bit, but like the things we've talked about with Austin in the past, like where's the leadership, who's the guy, who's the vocal guy and everything like that. Like I didn't see that out of them last night either, so like I just don't. And I think that's why they're right there on the playoff line with us, man. And I think I do think we're the better team of these two teams, particularly with that performance last night, the way that they looked on the defensive side of the ball, man. Like it's sloppy. It's really, really sloppy football. So an earned and deserved 3 points in my book for Austin. And I loved the physicality last night. That was a response that we were looking for after that Montreal game. Definitely got started out a little tight butthole there with everything going on in front of that net, but you responded, you kept your composure, and you saw this out for a full 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think looking at the shot map there too, like you see 8 of those 18 shots came from outside of the box, but I think they're counting like 3 or 4 of those that are literally right on the 18-yard line there, kind of right center of net. So like the majority of their shots were not high XG chances. And man, speaking of high XG chances, look at this Mirtu goal. 0.99 XG and 1 expected goal on target.
There we go, baby.
It's going in.
Yeah, efficient.
So checking out some of the other stats here, and I guess also, let's bring this up first.
Okay.
Chicho Arango, we know after, like we talked about it right after the Open Cup win for us, loss for him, where he was responding to people indirect messages. Yeah. With pictures of like him when he was with LAFC and won the championship. Like, oh, well, we beat you in 2022. It's like, okay, buddy, cool. Yeah. You got beat today. Yeah. Like, and you don't play for LAFC anymore. You play for some bums.
They got rid of you willingly.
Yeah, 2 teams. And we don't know what kind of fucking shady shit you did at RSL.
Yep.
And so he's responding to Moises from Verde Alde with no tag.
No.
In the middle of the night. So this, like I said earlier, man, Chicho is so sensitive. He's clearly searching his name on social media, which is just a ridiculous thing to do, especially when you're that dude on the field. Like I would, dude, if we had any of our guys doing this, and like I know we have former players who definitely search their own names who now play for other teams on the West Coast. Like it's such a bad look, brother. It's such a bad look.
Yeah, I don't care how good you are, I'd want you out. And shout out to Moises for fucking dunking on him, dude. Yeah. His response was absolutely perfect. Are you searching for me? Are you searching your name at 3 o'clock in the morning, dude? Because you are. Yeah. And also, I thought it was hilarious, that entire exchange where he's like, I don't speak English, but you just, brother, we know you.
Oh, yeah.
We know you can speak multiple languages. Like that is not. It was definitely
Well, and the accusation was that he called one of the Austin fans, like said, "Shut up, bitch," or something like that.
Dumb bitch.
Bitch, or something like that. Yeah,
dude, you can say that in a lot of different languages. Everyone has a word for that.
And also, there are a lot of people in the Austin stands that speak multiple languages, brother. It doesn't necessarily. I think Moises said, "I didn't say you said it in English."
Yeah, and it's just hilarious that he didn't say, "I didn't say that." He goes, "I don't speak English." It's like, okay, so you definitely said it and not in English. That's loser, ridiculous behavior, man. He's so good. I mean, he was in the fucking MVP conversation. You know what I mean? He's one of the most threatening offensive players in the league, dude. And there is a reason why LAFC got rid of you despite you scoring like 20 goals that season. And there's a reason why RSL got rid of you despite scoring a shitload of goals that season too, man. And now you're here in what feels like purgatory with San Jose with this team, so like you did it to yourself, man. And just foolish.
Yep. You see some of the graphics here from MLS Stat on Blue Sky. Really weird passing map from the Quakes because this map is from minutes 35 to 73 after Roberts was subbed out. You see that left center forward out there, way out there.
Yeah.
With not a ton of passing connectivity between him and the rest of the team, but very strong horseshoe type of form for San Jose and a little bit more progression from the Austin side of things. Another thing I wanted to talk about, as you see, right, 10 of those 18.
10 poor. Yeah,
10 poor, 5 average. And so you did a good job of making sure that the San Jose opportunities were low probability shots. Goals added ratings, not surprised to see Buka at the top. Again, this is less than my favorite stat that we have out there in terms of the advanced stats for MLS or for soccer in general, because to have Dubrsarski with the lowest score on the game, goals added.
Yeah, brother.
I don't think those words mean what you think it means, American soccer analysis, because he definitely added a goal last night. So I don't understand this shit. I just like looking at it. And I would love to learn more about the methodology here, because I feel like more often than not over the last couple of months, I've looked at some of these numbers and been like, huh?
Yeah. It's funny that they have a Duber lower score than the guy who literally gave up the ball on his own side of the field and just left it for one of our best players to come out there and grab, man.
And look how high. This is a good explainer on why you're able to get in behind, whether they're leaving the ball free for you on the sideline or not. Nearly 47-meter average height of a defensive action, which their average is close to 43, which has got to be one of the highest in the league. Again, this is a high pressing team, and they certainly had to come out of their shell a little bit more once the first goal was scored. But that is a number, man. I think that's the highest number I think we've seen from an opponent this year.
That is definitely
correctly.
Yeah, that is definitely the highest number that I've seen. Look, man, you're gonna have to play this team again in October. It's on decision day. Please be locked up with our seeding here.
Yeah,
so we don't have to go
playing for seeding, right?
So we don't have to go to that dog shit pitch. Your own coach is saying they don't want people to play there. We lost our starting striker on that pitch because of that pitch to a non-contact injury, and the way that they play, and the fact that, again, that this is a heated rivalry between these two teams, and now you've beaten them twice. You've eliminated them from Open Cup. This was a massive loss for them. Huge, huge win for us. I will look at the table again if you can pull that, because it looks beautiful now. But like, I don't want to be in a game with them with shit on the line for the last game of the season where we could potentially suffer some sort of get back. But I still think they're going to be upset about the Espinosa thing at the end of the season. I still think it's going to be on their mind. So like, I'm glad
this matchup has always been heated. No matter what, even in the first season where Julio's rolling guys off the field, they're rolling back on to be injured. Like, it's always been contentious between these two clubs for whatever reason, man. And that it's not going to slow down.
For sure. And God, look at this table now, man. Portland falling apart right now. I think they're definitely susceptible to being caught. Obviously, LAFC with the least amount of games here in the Western Conference, just retooled with some
they play
signings.
San Diego tonight. So
big
we will
matchup.
take the San Diego win there for sure.
Yeah, as a casual, I will be tuning in for that one.
Yeah, it'll be a good
to
game.
watch those two. That's going to be some good soccer there. But, man, I can't dwell too much on the Montreal thing. But good God.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you're sitting on 41 right now, you're legitimately thinking about top four at that point.
Absolutely are. So, but whatever. It's in the past now. This was a great way to respond. Sitting in seventh, Colorado. Again, I don't have a lot of confidence in them. And the San Jose team, I wouldn't be surprised if they won every single game here on out, or if they lost every single game here on out, the way that they play and the way that they're just completely erratic. So this is a huge win. Absolutely massive. What was the figures? Like 80% jump for winning this game to be top 9?
Oh, it was, I think top 9 is now 91% chance
Beautiful
in the model. And I think with some of the other results that we had last night, with like Sporting coming back to beat Colorado was huge for us.
Huge.
RSL, I believe, dropping another game. Houston did pick up a win, but they're 6 points back, and we have a game in hand on them. Like they're 3 points back of even the 9. So like now you have a 6-point gap between you and the end of that wild card line where Houston is at right now. And no matter who's available this coming week, you're going to play Sporting Kansas City, who has given up the most goals. 57 goals conceded. Like this is, no matter who you run out there, there's an opportunity to go get 3 points on the road or at least a result here. So man, again, like the win last night did a ton, both just looking at the table and looking at the, playoff probabilities. And we'll dive more into that on Wednesday's preview episode where we sit. But the 3 points obviously did a lot for that. And then we did get help from some other results around the West on Saturday night.
Just keep handling your business, man. Just keep taking care of business and we'll be totally fucking fine. Because again, everything you want is right in front of you. And there's real potential to be right there in that 6th spot. It'd be hard for me, the way things have been up and down, the way things have been going as of lately, to be like, yes, we can compete and get up there with your LAFCs, your Seattle Sounders, your Whitecaps and those guys and everything like that. But the other teams that are grouped up with us right now, they all have glaring weaknesses and flaws. And if you can just handle your business, man, you're going to be good. You're going to get a home playoff game, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna, when you get to the first round, you're gonna get a home.
Oh, that's right, because it's.
But you would love to have the, if you have to play a best of 3, you'd rather have the 2 games.
Yes.
At home. But man, looking at, like, I went through the Western Conference table since the beginning of June and calculated what it would look like just with that sample size, and it's just a 10-game sample for Austin FC. But that's a third of a season here. In the West, man. Austin, since June 1st, is tied for 3rd. You've got San Diego, unsurprisingly, up top with 23 points in that span. Minnesota would be 2nd with their 21. And then it's Austin, LAFC, and Seattle tied on 18 points apiece. So, again, I think Austin, of those teams at the top, has probably had the easiest schedule of the bunch, certainly since July started. But, again, that means that those teams had easier schedules when we were playing our gauntlet to begin the season. So overall, since the beginning of June, man, things are continuing to trend up. And just the 2 losses in 3 months like this, it is one of the better stretches, even though it doesn't feel like it in the club's history here in the summer. And if you can even just stay afloat here in September compared to what we've seen in this month in years past, that'll go a long way to, again, achieving the goal of a top 7 playoff berth, getting as high as you possibly can in the seeding.
Yeah.
And again, on the 17th here, we are 2.5 weeks away from the second biggest game in club history, right? 2nd or 3rd. I don't remember where we deemed it a couple weeks ago, but it's a huge one out there in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that one, man. Super, super excited. This Sporting game coming up here, obviously we'll jump into it more on Wednesday and everything like that. It's gonna be a weird one with all these call-ups, and the formation is the lineup, is gonna be a mystery to me. Honestly, I'm not gonna know what we're gonna be going for here, but still, I don't think you need to have all your guys to really beat that team. They are not good. Like you said, they gave up a ton of goals and everything, but you're in great company right now with those other teams that you mentioned in regard to that stat from June. And again, just handle your business, man. We got the best player in the fucking league, Owen Wolf.
So we will talk more about this on Wednesday's preview episode, but on the road next weekend. So, there's another Los Verdes watch party happening. And this is a Sunday night match next weekend, Sunday, September 7th. This watch party is going to be at Austin Beer Works at their Sprinkle Valley location, which is at 10300 Springdale Road here in Austin. That is a 6 p.m. kick next Sunday. So, I think we're going to be getting together. It's our week 1 NFL Sunday, little Verde and Black at night. It's going to be a heck of a Sunday for us. The party is going to start at 5 with that 6 p.m. kickoff over there at ABW Sprinkle Valley. It's open to all ages. They do have a little playground for the young ones out there. Free parking, indoor and outdoor screens showing the game. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a cold front rolling in here, right? Just high 80s. It's like heaven here in September in Austin, Texas. 2 food trucks on site there at ABW. La Taquicardia open until 7. Obsidian Pizza open until 8. And LV members, you show your membership card, 10% off beer at ABW
Ooh.
Sprinkle Valley for the party. So again, we will talk about that more on Wednesday's episode, but wanted to get that on everybody's radar for next Sunday's watch party. Last call will be 8. Everybody out by 8:30 on that Sunday night. So we'll talk about that again on Wednesday. Anything else for you on this match?
No, I'm good.
Come on down to Farmer Field where the champions play. Get ready for the game. It's Lost Business Day.
Last business day here on episode 252 of the North End Podcasty. Friday night out there in LA. FCito taking on LAFC2. It's a late kickoff at 9 p.m. Just one change in the lineup for the second team. It was Jacobaro making his return in there for Adrian Gonzalez. And this one was kind of an ass whooping and not in our favor, man. Like the final score ends up being 1-0, but talking through some of the big moments in this one. 13th minute, it was the home team in LAFC2 controlling the match early and often. In the 13th minute, they earn a corner, and on that corner, the ball's whipped in kind of right to the penalty spot, headed on frame by Christian Diaz, and it was a great save by Marcus Alstrup here to push that shot away. And I was not confused at all on the night by LAFC2's center back pairing of Diaz and Diaz. That was not confusing at all.
No way.
28th minute here, off a restart near midfield from an Austin foul. LAFC2 working it around the back and then over the top down the right sideline. And Walters runs onto that ball near the edge of the 18-yard box, whips across him, and that one's punched away by Alstrup. But it goes right to DeCarlo Guerra, and he pings it right back at goal. Luckily for us, that one went off the crossbar, up in the air and back into play, and falls right to Wabowo, who heads it to Guerra's feet, and DeCarlo Guerra on his second chance knocks this one home. And just like, again, to illustrate the state of this game, 28th minute, already LAFC2's 8th shot of the match. So we were pinned back early, and it did not stop after that. 30th minute. What's that?
I'm saying, look at the stats right now. It does not look like it.
Yeah, it was it was not a fun end to the Friday night for me watching that game here at home. 30th minute, though, Jacobaro, wayward pass at the back, gives another big chance to LAFC2 here, but they were not able to capitalize as their shot attempt went right to Marcus. And in the second half, the things aren't, again, like unsurprisingly, like you said, looking at the stats as we can pull those up here, things not going much better. In the 52nd minute, Walters slicing through 3 Austin FC2 defenders from the midfield all the way to the top of the box. And when he gets to the top of the 18, he turns on a dime and has a go himself that Alstrup parries away for a corner. Alstrup, and I think you may be able to infer this from the stats and the eventual scoreline here at the final whistle, I thought Marcus had a great game. The offense just couldn't generate much in this one. 61st minute, double change for Austin. Grogan and Roussel in for Danchutu and Jacobaro, and it looked like Jaka may have aggravated that injury, so hopefully not, and that he's ready to go here on Friday. It's kind of a quick turnaround. We've got a Friday, a 3 p.m. Central kickoff on the road against Loons 2 next week. Closing this one out, 65th minute, with what was maybe Austin's best chance on the night to try to level things here. It was a decent build-up in possession, and it ended up with Riley Thomas whipping a ball into the 6 that, of course, who else but Jorge Alistue gets his head to, and that shot on target but parried up and over the bar by the LAFC keeper, who didn't have a ton to do on the night. 78th minute, Diego Abarca comes in for Jimmy. 85th minute, decent chance here from Marcel Roussel from about 20 yards out, just kind of very nonchalantly pinged this ball, forced a save up and over the crossbar for another Austin FC2 corner. And then Arudja comes in for Ruben Bonachera in the 86th. And in stoppage time, dude, this one got out of hand. Go to the match facts here. Look at that in stoppage time.
Holy shit.
7 yellow cards given out in the 7 minutes of stoppage time that were allotted. Luckily, nothing like spilled over into like an actual fight, but you can see here,
Yeah.
4 for Austin, 3 for LAFC. This match was very physical, very chippy. And again, LAFC just got the better of Austin FC2 in this one, 23 shots to 6, doubled them up on shots on target, 6-3, 3 big chances to 1. Not Austin FC2's finest match here. And to be honest, man, a little bit of a letdown for me after what I thought was such a promising win at home over Ventura County. Again, you don't do too much here to hurt yourself in terms of your playoff positioning, still in 6th here on 35 points. But there's multiple Western Conference games here tonight. We see Whitecaps 2 currently leading Timbers 2-0. So Whitecaps on our heels there, just a point back in the live table. So again, we will preview that match against Loons 2 on Wednesday's episode. And again, very odd timing for that one, 3 p.m. this Friday out there in Minnesota. So anything else for you on this one, E?
I mean, definitely not the result you're looking for here. A tough one, that LAFC2 team, right on your heels a little bit. 5 games left. So you finish this thing out strong. You're in the position that you need to be in right now. If you finish this thing out strong, all will be okay.
Wow, the best keeper in the world.
Look who's back, E.
Look at that.
It's been a little while. Let's check in on the best keeper in the world. Of course, that being Damian Loss. And we are left searching at this moment for a status update on Damian Loss because Damian has been out, not just not starting, but not in the team the last 2 games. And of course, like there's not a huge media like press pool at Louisville City games every time, right? So like I couldn't find anything about a potential injury. So that's something that we're definitely going to keep our eyes on here over the next couple weeks. And in fact, as soon as we stop recording, I'm going to hit up our buddy Turbo Trevor and see if he's got any information about Damian. But up until the last 2 games, Damian's been the consistent starter, and Louisville, unsurprisingly, continuing their dominant form over their last 10 competitive matches, because they did have a friendly against Frankfurt in there. Over their last 10 competitive games, 8 wins and 2 draws. They are first in the USL Championship Eastern Conference with 51 points from their 22 games. And this is something we did find, some Louisville City goalkeeping statistics from their club historically. And this was actually put together by Benton, who is at Purple SDF on Twitter. Louisville City, potentially a broadcaster here, just judging by his profile. And he put this little chart together and is pointing out that Damian Loss is on track. And again, Louisville City, one of the more successful USL sides, consistent success year in, year out over the last decade. He says Damian Loss on track to have one of the best goalkeeping seasons in Louisville City history all time. I know this is a very, the writing is very hard to make out here on our screen share for the YouTube, but he points out in this chart that Damian Loss is second best right now in goals minus XG. So that shot stopping metric that you like to look at for goalkeepers. He's third best in Louisville history in minutes per goal, best in club history in shots per goal, saves per goal, and third best in XG per goal. And Ben also points out that you could take out at the top there Ben Lunt's 2020 season due to kind of the various oddities that the COVID season presented. And so Benton here says, really, Kyle Morton's 2022 is the only goalkeeping season in Louisville City history that is challenging Damian Loss's metrics here. And you love to hear that. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for an update on Damian's status with a potential injury. But it's been a while, and checking in, man, all still going very well here for Damian in terms of his on-the-field performance.
Awesome to see. I mean, those are pretty solidified numbers where it's like, yes, dude is fucking balling. So that's fantastic. Hopefully, like you said, healthy, nothing going on there. We'll get we'll get the tendrils out. Yeah.
See what we can dig up there.
See what we find.
Got a couple goal props left here tonight for LAFC San Diego. Need one of those to hit to get you in the black on the sports book side of things. But that underdog entry comes through last night. Very nice night for us on the Underdog Fantasy board. So we will recap that fully. Think we're in a pretty good spot with best ball here as well. I think 12 points back of We Are Austin in first. So we will get those calculated, recap those on Wednesday's episode. Anything else for you here on our Sunday before we shut it down?
Come win some money with us, y'all. I hit P Mike up. He did it. I woke up to $500 in my UD account because boom.
Yeah.
ZG puts in the work, y'all. I'm telling you, the tendrils, they're everywhere. So get on board, get that bets. We'll see it, next weekend, obviously.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to become gambling addicts.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, abbreviated slate next weekend, but we will certainly have some picks and we'll recap all that on Wednesday's episode. And we appreciate you all tuning in and sticking with us here on episode 252. We get a win. We go back to an hour and 20-minute episode here. Some things never change. So we will be back on Wednesday to preview Austin FC's road trip out to Kansas City to take on Sporting, preview the second team's road trip out to take on Loons 2, and of course talk about everything else that happens in the Austin FC universe. Between now and then, enjoy the beginning of your week, everybody. Enjoy your long weekend. We will do the same, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday for another episode of the North End Podcast for the first time in way too long. Until we see you on Wednesday, he's Ian, I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Victory song.
Welcome to the North End where the passion's running high. We're here to talk football, Austin FC, alright. ZG and E will take you on this ride. Week by week, side by side. It's action 1, 2, 3. We're the rowdiest in town. The Pirates, Damon, Uncle Dave, and Big Fudge all around. We sing our songs, we chant as one. Through thick and thin, the match day's just begun. In the North End, we stand together. Through every game, through any weather. From the first whistle to the final blow, the North End will never let go. Under the lights of Q2, our home, our sacred ground. In green and black, we fight, our voices loud and proud. Trio sees magic, Bacardi speed, Stuva saving grace. With every goal we score, the lights turn verde, it's our place. So knows the mastermind, building our dream. Dan rules everything around me, as he strengthens our team. Let roll